For sneakers, there's a number where if you exceed that number, you've like lost your mind, right?
In terms of price?
No, in terms of quantity of shoes in your collection, right? So I think if you're above 300 sneakers, you've lost your mind.
Crazy.
What is the watch number? How many watches is it before you're just like, you're crazy?
Today we are at this iconic location to talk to a streetwear designer legend, somebody who you might know from this shoe, a watch collector and a friend, Jeff Staple.
So welcome
Thanks
to
for
the
having
space.
us. We're here to talk about watches, right, and design. And when we talked about the get-together, we wanted to find designers that design watches and sneakers, and we thought there's going to be a lot of them, and there isn't. There's like only a few guys, or at least we couldn't find a lot of those guys.
No, I don't think there is many, yeah.
Why do you think it's that?
All of streetwear is only about 30 years old.
Right.
The idea of collecting and coveting sneakers is also like a 30-ish year old thing, right? So if you think about the trajectory of people who are into sneakers, and then, watches, as you know, have been around centuries, maybe, right? Like
couple
literally,
hundred,
and people coveting them has been from the beginning as well. Sneakers and street culture had to sort of catch up late. And if you think about a single person's career, right, it's about 30 years for them to like make a mark and a name for themselves to be able to do a sneaker and then a watch. And so the number of individuals who have achieved a level of like, oh, you're like the man, or you're like a person of authority in streetwear and sneaker culture is already very small. And then the number of those people who are even like super into watches is probably like 30% of them, especially because a lot of streetwear heads came from punk rock, hip hop, skateboarding. So I think that's why it's kind of like taken a minute to sort of like those two Venn diagrams to intersect.
Do you think we're going to see more in the next 5 to 10 years?
Absolutely, for sure. I mean, I think in the last 5 years alone, the Venn diagram of like fine art, automobile, watch, and sneaker and street culture have just been like gravitating and merging together. So it's only going to continue, and they kind of all go hand in hand.
If I look at your designs, we have one of your collaborations, but you have Undone, you have G-Shock, you have Fossil, Timex.
Yep.
They're all super different, right? When you work with these brands, do you get like a blank canvas, or is it something like, okay, we kind of know what we want, and you need to go and make it happen?
G-Shock was the only one where it was like, here's your model, and like veneer it and skin it, right? Now, for the other three that you mentioned, Fossil, Timex, and Undone, I was able to look through their entire catalog and see which ones fit me and my sort of style. And I think the reason why they all look different is that, like, while we do have the pigeon as a symbol and we have a colorway that is associated with it, I don't necessarily always just apply that to every single thing. Like, there is some nuance that goes into it. Whereas other artists, like, if you look at someone like Hiroshi, like where he's got the lightning bolt and then KAWS has the XX, that's like their mark and their signature that they apply onto it. So to them, it's almost like a painter's signature, and they're like there's signing something, but just not with a signature, with like a symbol, right? Yeah. I sort of want my catalog of work to be varied versus like consistent. The reason why we've had so much success in collaborations for, going on 3 decades now doing collaborations is a collaboration is when someone's sitting on the other side of the table from you and you're having a conversation. So if I'm just like, I want this, and I don't really care about what your brand thinks or what you think, like that's not very collaborative.
No.
I kind of want to be like, what do you want and what do I want? Now in the middle, let's play.
Bring them together.
Yeah, exactly.
You need a swatch collaboration.
Yeah, swatch would be the dream collaboration. I mean, like, my dream would not even be to do a one-off, but it would be like every collection and delivery we do, there's an accompanying swatch that's associated with it. You know?
That's a great idea.
Let's go! The first watch I want to talk about is just one of my favorites of all time, the Grand Seiko Snowflake. And, one of the reasons why I love this is it's just like the ultimate if you know watch. And for me, just, growing up the way I am, I just don't like being a mark. I don't want something that's on me that like says I have so much money, So like this is a real low-key watch. But for those who know, look at it and always their eyes like go bulging when they see it.
Yeah. No, it's a super, super cool watch.
Yeah. I think what's interesting is as a streetwear designer, if you think about the word street, the more bling you get, I feel like the more you distance yourself from the street.
But that's what some people do.
I know.
Right? Like it's
just
because it's kind of like I came from the streets and now
shows,
I
yes,
have to show
my success.
value, my success.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm sort of like more quiet about it. And so the Grand Seiko is that watch perfectly. Even to this day, Grand Seiko is not a new brand by any means. It's from maybe the 70s, I want to say.
Yes. 67.
And it started out under the Seiko umbrella, but it was kind of like the more innovative, technical, vertically driven division of Seiko. In the beginning, watches would be dual branded, Seiko and Grand Seiko. It's like both logos on it.
Grand Seiko or King Seiko?
Yeah, King Seiko, yeah. And so it reminds me a lot of like Nike and Nike Lab, or like Adidas and Y3, like these like divisions within that are trying to do something better.
Yeah.
And so that really resonated with me. And then of course it made the full switch to Grand Seiko later on. And even to this day, like it's still a watch that 8 out of 10 people don't know about. Yeah.
It's kind of like if you know, you know.
It's the definition of that.
Kind of brand. People know it's like a 10,000, 15,000 euro watch, but it doesn't look blingy. And it's just beautifully made. I mean, if you look at the movement, look at the case back, or even just have a loop in the hands, it's just so great.
And I don't know if people know this, but the quartz that Grand Seiko uses is grown by themselves in Japan. The actual quartz.
Yeah, they're used for spring drives.
Yes, but whereas most other watch companies import and buy their quartz third party.
Yeah, I think
that's so Seiko.
Grand Seiko is crazy. Yeah. I mean, if you go to Tokyo and you have the chance to go to the museum or the boutique, it's just another world, really.
And one time a month, I'll be wearing this and somebody will be like, oh, snowflake, Grand Seiko, wow, like, and they'll know, and you get like the absolute like bowing respect. And that just reminds me of when I was in the 6th grade and I wore the Air Jordan 3s for the first time, and people were like, what are those? Those aren't my Converse Chuck Taylors, you know, like these are different. And it's the same exact feeling,
From there, we move on to this one, which is one of your collaborations, which you kind of mentioned before.
Yep.
The Fossil.
Yeah, this was so much fun. I'm so proud of this project, really, really am. I mean, to work with a brand like Fossil, first of all, is a legendary brand, but then to be able to go to their archive and say, you know what, I want to do this sundial, which is like the OG genesis of a watch, right? And originally we were just going to do a sundial, but then in the collaboration of the dual side of the table, probably someone from their sales team was like, but do people want to buy a sundial right now?
Like
maybe we should do a watch. So
cool.
the mechanism is this is really, it's just a little press here.
Yeah, but nice.
And then now you've got your watch. Now, the other fun thing is because now we have essentially 2 watches to design, right? We have this watch and then we have this watch. I then decided to go into this past, present, future sort of idea where like the outside looks like something, we did it in this terracotta kind of look where future civilizations, did an archaeological dig and unearthed, oh my God, it's a sundial, of course, and it looks like terracotta. But then when you open it, we used all these like sort of future retro, almost like rave graphics. And then you've got this hologram.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of futurism when you break it open. So now it becomes this thing of like, well, what era is this from? I almost want to confuse the Martians when they come. So I'm super happy with this. And when you're wearing it, right, you've got this beautiful, just definite conversation piece.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'll wear this and like the waitress will be like, what's on your wrist? It's like, oh, it's a sundial. But you can really use it to tell time. Well, I was like, yeah, you can. But then you could also do this.
Yeah.
And then like that is like, that's just flex. Like that's just gangster, Awesome. I love this.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing is, if you take it off and the case back, there's an open case back. So you see the movement. It's an automatic movement with the pigeon logo, obviously.
Exactly. And I believe it's numbered as well, if I can see. On the strap holder, you've got the staple logo. Yeah. I love this.
It's a fun.
And this, by the way, the packet. Fossil's known for their tin packages, right? So the tin that we created for this is an egg. It's literally, it's like a dinosaur egg. And so further, if you like, you unearth this thing and it's like, what's in this egg? And you crack it open and it's this. It's really cool.
Yeah, I told you one of our calls that we wanted to get some of the Timexes and other stuff, and you can't find them anywhere. It's super rare to find them.
They're either keeping them or they're wearing them. And I love that we don't really cater to flippers.
Reselling.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely interesting.
Yeah, except of course for that guy, which defined it completely. But after this, I prefer to make things that people will actually wear. Like we did a pair of like a Doc Martens recently. You can't find those anywhere. They sold out. but you can't find a single one on
Find
eBay.
these either, but for a different reason.
Yeah, you can, you have to mortgage your house to get
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so then, so I brought 2 more, right?
Okay.
So these are not necessarily yours, but
But I'm a huge fan of the,
you know this one.
yes, the Ikepod, right?
Yeah.
I'll never forget, first time I saw this was a full-page ad in Wallpaper magazine, probably
This
like
is 99.
20 years ago. Yeah, 25
Yeah.
years ago. And I was like, whoa,
What
this
is
is
this?
next level. Yeah.
Like I think this is the first one he did in like 99. And I mean, if you look at it, it's like I showed it to some people.
I've never held one in my hands.
Here you go.
I'm excited.
Bring him
What do
to
these go for? Like 30?
$4,000.
Oh, that's it? No way.
It's not too much. Yeah.
$4,000?
$4,000. Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And the crazy thing
I guess
is
when I looked at it 20 years ago, I saw the price and I was like, I'll never have this much money.
No, it's like 3.8 or something.
But Mark Newson, another one of these amazing creators, industrial designers that, like you said, transcended his craft of industrial design, then did sneakers,
Yeah.
and then did watches.
He did crazy stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
if you go on his website, it's just nuts.
Couple of,
from furnitures to
Apple devices,
Apple
right?
everything. So many watches.
Yeah.
What I really like about this piece, and that's how I want to take or have your take on it, is it's a 19 and it's 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put it on your wrist, and if you don't know,
Yeah.
it just feels like a brand new watch.
Exactly. Timeless design, you know. It goes along with, to me, the design language of like Dieter Rams or like Braun or these things that are just like, you know, decades old. But like when they sit on your counter, it's like, no, that was designed this year. Yeah.
And so then the other brand, and that's our last watch for today, is something that you and I talked about, I think the last time when I saw it.
I asked you about it. I saw it on your wrist and I was like, what do you have there?
Yeah.
And I wasn't familiar with the brand.
And so this is one of their latest models, and this is a bigger one. It's a 40 millimeter destro, so left-handed, mono pusher chronograph with a great movement in the back, and the case is like an Art Deco-esque case.
Yeah.
That's the Ming.
Ming. There's a lot of like new independent brands starting up, which is I think really exciting as well.
And so these are one of those guys where you like, if you see one, you know that it's a Ming. Mm-hmm. You know, on the one hand, you can call them like one-trick ponies, right? Because the design language is the same, but it's really not.
Yeah.
Yet if you see someone wearing that watch, you're like 99% sure it's a Ming.
They're inventing their own design language, you know?
Yeah, and that's the reason I brought these two, because the design is so different, yet they kind of fall in the same category.
I mean, from my perspective, these 4 watches are really indicative of my taste in the sense that none of them are like, you know, heavy hitter sort of like neck turners. They are all, if you know watches.
Absolutely.
They all possess some sort of a design language that's very, very unique to themselves. Even though you've got a watch that's, you know, from a huge company like Seiko and Fossil, and then you've got an independent designer, and then you've got a brand new startup as well.
Which is also independent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a whole broad swath. But the one thing that ties it together is it's really for people who truly love watches for what they are and not necessarily trying to make a big statement about how much money they have. This is, I think, for the love. For sneakers, there's a number where if you exceed that number, you've like lost your mind, right?
In terms of price?
No, in terms of quantity of shoes in
quantity.
your collection, right? So I think if you're above 300 sneakers, you've lost your mind.
crazy.
What is the watch number? How many watches is it before you're just like, you're crazy?
So I think it's very subjective. Like I have a lot of vintage.
Yeah.
But I think I always say when people ask how many watches, I always say I have more than 10, but less than 100.
Okay. I was gonna say 100 plus is like,
Yeah, that's nuts.
of anything. Even
of
if
anything.
If you had 100 swatches, you're nuts.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, in a good sense, but it's nuts.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's a point where you just become a hoarder. You're not you're not doing it for.
And then I know there's a lot of guys now in the industry where like they're sort of like buying and flipping.
Yeah.
So like they're buying a lot of watches, but they only ever have like 10 or 12 in their collection at any time because they keep rotating through. And I know sneaker people who do that too, right? They buy to flip, buy to flip. But I've never been that person. I really just truly love the art of it. I love the craftsmanship. And I feel like when like I said, I walked into the Grand Seiko store and bought this. When I buy that, I feel like I'm casting a vote for like craftsmanship, right? Like I'm supporting this. I want more of this in the world, so let me support with my dollar.
And that's super interesting. I was talking to a friend not too long ago, and I said, we talked about the Chopard Alpine Eagle. It's a design that, you see at a lot of brands, like Pateks and whatever, but it's not a Patek.
Yeah.
It's not an AP. It's a Chopard. And then what I told my friend is like, I'm it's not my watch, but I'm super interested in the person that buys that watch. Why did you choose that watch? Because it's not a cheap watch. Why did you buy that one instead of this and this and this?
Yeah.
And every time I meet someone, they always have a great answer.
Yeah.
It's always a different answer.
Right.
And I think, that's the beauty of it.
Yep. All right, so the next watch that's on my list, I mean...
Brand, model, anything?
Yeah, one watch that's been on my mind for a very long time is the Snoopy Omega Speedmaster. But the prices on those are just crazy. This one now is very, very tempting.
It's a super cool watch.
Yeah, it's good. And it's timeless, and it's supporting Newson, and you know, it's not too bad in terms of pricing. I thought it was worse. I might get one of these on my wrist pretty soon.
Well,
or maybe this one won't come back on the...
Well, that's a wrap, huh? Jeff, thanks a lot for taking the time.
Yeah,
it was a pleasure, and thanks for having us in this beautiful store.
Of course, anytime.
Hope to see you soon.
Yep.